This is Middle Class Matt from don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com and NC Sports Genius 1. And you can follow me on Twitter at the same name, NC Sports Genius 1. Before I get started today, I want to just say it's very sad what happened to Junior Seau. I was watching on ESPN about his death and what looks like maybe a suicide. And I was thinking as I was growing up that he was, to me, the prototypical middle linebacker. And when people said, this guy's going to be a great linebacker, I always thought, well, is he going to be as good as Junior Seau? So I think that's really sad. Today, though, I want to talk about and weigh in on Robert Griffin III versus Andrew Luck. Now, everybody in the whole sports world has already weighed in on this subject. And most of the time, at Don't Buy the Hype, we stay away from subjects like this. We stick to the SEC football, basketball, ACC basketball, you know, some of the local teams, Carolina Panthers, Falcons, that I and my partner, he lives in Georgia and I live in North Carolina. So we stick to our home teams like that, and then some of the less talked about subject matter. This is something everyone on ESPN has weighed in on. But I'd like to just make a few observations of what I've seen. When you tune in to Don't Buy the Hype, what you're getting is you're getting knowledge before the mainstream does. All college season, I talked about Duke not being an elite team. The media finally caught on at the end of the season, and then, of course, in the tournament when Duke University suffered the worst loss in their history of their program, and the worst loss in NCAA history in the first round of the tournament, then I was right the whole time. Middle class Matt, armchair quarterback, normal, everyday person was ahead of the media. If you want to pick games and impress your friends of who's going to win, guys love to be right about sports, then tune in to Don't Buy the Hype, because we're going to be able to predict games. My NFL record speaks for itself. Now, back to the quarterback comparison. When I saw RG3 run his drills, I mean, they were incredible. Now, Michael Vick was a great natural runner, but he even could look mechanical and uncomfortable sometimes in the pocket like he wanted to run. RG3 ran his drills for Gruden like no quarterback I've ever seen, none, at any level. He was so fluid and athletic and natural. His ability, he was so coordinated, the way he could roll out of the pocket and throw a pass, unbelievable. And at the speed he did the drills, it was just incredible. It was like nothing I had ever seen before. Now, his footwork leaves something to be lacking. His accuracy's not great, and he didn't play in a pro-style system, and that's going to hurt him, I think, in the NFL. And I see him as being a project who may take 2 or 3 years to be good if he ever gets it. But he does have the ability that if he works hard, he could get it. What I thought was curious about him was that Gruden never put him on the board and talked a lot of X's and O's with him. Now, he did that with Luck. And Andrew Luck was so impressive when it came to that. He went to the board, and John Gruden said, show the offense and defense and, do some X's and O's with plays. And he was like a coach up there, putting it out there. I was just extremely impressed with the mind of Andrew Luck. This is a very intelligent human being. And that's what probably is the most important thing for a quarterback is IQ. And then another thing that showed how intelligent he was and what kind of a student of the game was is when they went out to run drills, Andrew Luck could have gone out there and acted like he knew it all, and let me show you what I know, John Gruden, I'll show you how to play the position. But he out there and started asking Gruden questions and wanted him to teach him. And it just showed how teachable Luck is. But being teachable is not the whole story, and that's not going to make you a great quarterback, even though that's a great attitude. What Gruden taught him about the shotgun formation, he went out there and began to try it. He implemented it and then effectively executed those drills and the things that Gruden showed him just a few seconds before. Now, that was incredible. Now, I do have one picky thing to say about Andrew Luck, and that is, to me, he's a little too muscular. Some people like that in a quarterback, but I also heard Tebow criticized for the very same thing. But it doesn't seem to affect his throwing motion. He has one of the best throwing motions we've seen probably in a decade. So I feel like Andrew Luck in the long run is going to be the better quarterback of the two. Now, RG3 may have the better season this year, and at least his team will definitely have a better season, in my opinion. They could, go 500 or even win more games than that. he has a better team around him. Now, RG3 is probably not going to complete 65% of his passes, but he does have big playability that with already the pieces that are set in place for the Washington Redskins could really help out that team. So they could win 3 or 4 more games and have a much better season than the Indianapolis Colts. But in the long run, Andrew Luck's going to be the better player. He seems to have all the tools, and most importantly, he definitely, even though RG3 seems to be an intelligent quarterback, Andrew Luck's one of those guys like Peyton Manning who has that superior intellect, and then seems to have the desire and will to study a lot too. And that's really where you get it done. Just look at Tom Brady and Peyton Manning and etc. So that's what I think may happen, is that RG3 may have a little bit better season this year. His team will have a better season. Andrew Luck will be better in the long run, but neither one of them are going to have a season like Cam Newton. I'll tell you that. What Cam Newton did last year, I don't think there's any way that they statistically will be able to compare. A lot of people would compare RG3 to a Cam Newton, but Cam Newton is huge. He's 6'6", and if he's 6'6", everyone else is 6'3", 6'4", because he seems head and shoulders taller than everybody, and weighs 260 pounds. And so he's out there a man among boys, especially when he was in college. He's just a man-child. And he's able to execute and do more than what a 6'2" athletic RG3 can do. So, like I said, to recap, neither one of them will have a season like Cam, but in the long run, Andrew Luck will be the better quarterback. For all these kind of sports insights, predictions, and picks, get them here first at don'tbuythehype.blogspot.com and NC Sports Genius 1. This is Middle Class Matt, and I'll see you next time.